Imagine waking up one day and realizing that everything can change. You don't have to wait for some special moment or a life-altering event. The truth is, your turning point is right in front of you. It's not about waiting for the perfect time, because that perfect time is today. Today is the day that you take control, make the decision, and finally step into the life you've been dreaming of. But here's the thing, change doesn't just happen on its own, it's up to you. It's about making the choice right now to stop waiting, stop making excuses, and take action. If you've been feeling stuck, overwhelmed, or unsure of where to start, this video is for you. It's time to stop letting the days pass by. What you do today has the power to change everything. All it takes is one decision, one moment where you decide to move forward, to start working on the life you deserve. So stick with me, because in the next few minutes, you're going to understand exactly how to make today the day that turns your life around. It's time to stop waiting for tomorrow. Your moment is now. Number 1, decide today to never live the same again. You don't need a perfect plan to change your life. You just need a real decision. One honest decision that says, I am done living like this. I'm done putting things off. I'm done making excuses. I'm done letting time slip through my fingers like it doesn't matter, because it does matter. Your time matters. Your life matters. And what you do today, right now, might be the very thing that changes everything. There comes a moment in everyone's life when you look in the mirror and say enough. Enough of the distractions. Enough of the laziness. Enough of the blaming. Enough of this version of me that settles. And the moment you say that with conviction, that's the day your life begins to shift. That's the day your mind wakes up. That's the day you start to demand more from yourself. And that day, my friend, is a decision. Not a wish. Not a dream. A decision. And the decision is simple. It says, I will never live the same again. That means you don't go back to the old habits. That means you don't hide behind fear anymore. That means you stop telling yourself, you'll do it later. Because later has already cost you too much. You see, a human being is not meant to float through life. You're not meant to just exist. You are built for meaning. You are built for contribution. You are built for growth. And deep down, you know it. That's why you feel uncomfortable when you're not giving your best. That's why you feel restless when you're not living in line with who you could be. Because your spirit is trying to wake you up. It's telling you this isn't it. There's more. There's better. There's strength in you that you haven't used yet. The first step is to be honest with yourself. And honesty is not easy. It takes courage to say, I've been wasting time. I've been running in circles. I've been escaping instead of confronting. It hurts to admit that, but the truth is where your power begins. When you face the truth, you gain clarity, and clarity creates energy. You begin to see clearly what needs to go, what needs to stay, and what needs to be built. Now that decision to never live the same again is not about shouting it. It's not about making a dramatic post. It's about what you do in the quiet moments. It's what you do when no one is watching. It's what you do when the alarm goes off early and you feel tired. It's what you do when you have the chance to slip back into old ways and you choose not to. That's the real decision. A real decision is backed by action. A real decision creates a new pattern, a new identity, a new standard. You must raise your standard, because life responds to your standard. If you accept average, you will live average. If you accept chaos, you will live in it. If you accept delay, life will keep delaying. But if you say, I want excellence, I want growth, I want strength, I want purpose, and you mean it, then life begins to change. You begin to change. You walk differently. You think differently. You speak differently. You stop seeking approval and start seeking progress. You stop avoiding pain and start building endurance. People think it takes years to change a life. No, it takes a moment. One powerful moment. One inner decision. What takes years is getting ready for that moment. But when it comes, you've got to seize it. You've got to say, this is it. I am not waiting for another new year. I am not waiting for someone to push me. I am not waiting for the pain to get worse. I am deciding now. This version of me is done. The next version starts today. That means you start holding yourself to a higher level. You stop being okay with sloppy work. You stop lying to yourself. You stop showing up half-hearted. You start asking better questions. You start moving with purpose. You start doing the hard things. Not because someone told you to, but because you made a decision that your life is worth it. There's no secret formula. It's discipline. It's focus. It's showing up even when you don't feel like it. It's saying no to the short-term distractions, because the long-term vision is more important. It's doing the work, the boring work, the tiring work, the work that no one claps for, and doing it again tomorrow. You've got to stop letting your past control you. Your past is not your future. It doesn't matter what happened. It doesn't matter who doubted you. It doesn't matter how long you've been off track. What matters is what you do from this moment forward. And what you do from here can erase years of regret. What you do from here can rebuild confidence. What you do from here can create a life you're proud of. But it all starts with the decision to never live the same again. It's a personal decision. Nobody can make it for you. Nobody can do it for you. It's you and you alone. That's where the power is. Because when it comes from you, you don't need motivation. You don't need someone to remind you. You've already made the call. You've drawn the line. And that line says, I'm not going back. People will notice. They'll feel it. They won't even know what changed, but they'll see something in your eyes. They'll hear something different in your voice. They'll feel your presence when you walk in the room, because you've decided to take life seriously. You've decided to stop playing small. You've decided to stop living on autopilot. You've decided that your story is not over. In fact, it's just getting started. This is your time. This is your season. This is the moment when you choose to become everything you were meant to be. And it won't be easy. It won't be fast. But it will be real. It will be worth it. Because you made the most important decision of your life. You decided to never live the same again. Number 2. Stand up and take full control of your life. There is a day when something inside you finally refuses to stay silent. A day when you realize that no one is coming to fix your life for you. That's the moment you stand up. Not physically, but mentally and emotionally. You stand up because the weight of being passive has become too heavy. You stand up because you've seen what it costs to stay down. And from that moment on, everything begins to shift. You stop blaming. You stop waiting. You stop hoping someone else will change first. You realize that no job, no friend, no parent, no system, no opportunity is going to hand you your life on a silver platter. If you want it to get better, you're going to have to be the one who makes it better. That's the truth. And it's not a harsh truth. It's a freeing one. Because now you know where the power is. It's not outside you. It's within. Taking control doesn't mean you have everything figured out. It doesn't mean life won't throw chaos your way. It means you stop being reactive and start being intentional. You begin to make choices based on who you want to become, not just based on how you feel in the moment. You stop drifting and start directing. And the first thing you direct is your mind. Your thoughts have been shaping your life all along. If your mind is full of doubt, hesitation, and fear, your actions will mirror that. But once you decide that you're in charge, you no longer allow your mind to run on autopilot. You start watching your thoughts. You question them. You correct them. And slowly your thinking begins to reflect strength, not weakness. Standing up means you take responsibility for your time. You stop saying you don't have time and start admitting that you've been wasting it. You stop scrolling when you know you should be learning. You stop avoiding the uncomfortable tasks because you know they're the ones that move you forward. You stop living your days like they don't matter, because they do matter. Each day shapes your future. Taking control means being brutally honest about your habits. Every action you take either builds you or breaks you. You can't keep eating poorly and expecting energy. You can't keep sleeping late and expecting discipline. You can't keep spending money carelessly and expect financial peace. You can't keep running from hard conversations and expect real relationships. Taking control means you start making better choices, not because someone told you to, but because you've decided that your future is worth it. Control also means learning to say no, not to everything, but to the things that drain you, to the things that take your time, but give you nothing back. You don't owe everyone your energy. You don't have to attend every event or respond to every distraction. You learn to protect your space. You learn to value your peace. And you learn that every yes to the wrong thing is a no to the right thing. You start planning your days. You start setting goals, not just in your head but on paper. You wake up with a purpose. You know what needs to get done, and you don't negotiate with yourself every morning about it. You just do it. You don't wait for motivation. You build momentum through action. You start seeing results, and those results push you forward. That's control. But control is also about emotional mastery. You will not control your life until you learn to control your reactions. You have to learn to pause before you speak. You have to learn to breathe when you're angry. You have to learn to stay calm when everything around you feels out of order. Emotional control gives you power in moments when others fall apart. It gives you clarity when the pressure rises. You also begin to take control of your self-image. You stop seeing yourself as someone who always messes up. You stop carrying shame from your past. You stop repeating the labels others gave you. You write a new definition of yourself, one based on strength, growth, and progress. And every day you take one step closer to becoming that person. You speak to yourself with respect. You act in ways that align with your new identity, and slowly your life starts to rise to match your vision. Control doesn't mean perfection. It means direction. It means when you mess up, you don't spiral. You don't throw away the whole week because of one bad day. You fix it quickly. You learn and adjust. You get back up without guilt. That's what it means to own your life. You lead yourself through setbacks. You don't need a perfect run to prove you're in control. You just need consistency. You need commitment. It also means surrounding yourself with the right people. You become aware of who lifts you up and who pulls you down. You become aware of who challenges you and who comforts your excuses. You stop seeking validation from those who don't share your values. You align yourself with people who are moving forward, people who are building, people who live with integrity. Because the people around you shape your standards, and eventually something incredible happens. You begin to feel stronger, not because your problems disappeared, but because you stopped running from them. You stopped blaming the world and started owning your role in it. You stopped waiting for life to give you permission and started giving it to yourself. And now you're in the driver's seat. There is a confidence that comes with taking control. It's quiet, not loud. It's not about boasting. It's about walking through life with your head up, knowing that no matter what happens, you'll find a way. It's about trusting yourself, believing in your ability to grow, adapt, and overcome. That's what standing up really means. It means you're done letting life happen to you. You're ready to build it. You're ready to lead it. You're ready to rise above all the distractions, all the patterns, all the noise that once kept you small. You're not here to survive. You're here to live deeply, fully, and intentionally. And the moment you make that choice, everything around you begins to respond. Opportunities appear. People take you seriously. Your mind clears up. Your actions align. And the life you once dreamed of slowly begins to take shape. Because now, finally, you are in charge. Number 3. Break the pattern that keeps you feeling stuck. Feeling stuck is one of the most painful places to be. It's that constant loop where days look the same and nothing seems to change no matter how much you want it to. You wake up with hope, and by the end of the day you feel like you're right back where you started. That stuck feeling isn't laziness, and it's not weakness. It's the result of a pattern that keeps repeating itself until you make a decision to stop it. But here's the good news. Patterns can be broken. No matter how long you've been stuck, you can break free. You are not the pattern. You are the person who can interrupt it. It starts with awareness. Most people don't realize they're living in cycles. They wake up, do what they've always done, think the same thoughts, feel the same frustrations, and wonder why nothing improves. But the truth is, life won't change until you break the pattern that's holding it in place. If every day feels like a repeat of the last, that's your signal. Something deeper needs to change. Start by identifying what the pattern really is. Is it procrastination? Is it self-doubt? Is it comparing yourself to others? Is it waiting for the perfect moment? Look at your behavior closely. Be honest about what you're doing, and more importantly, what you're not doing. If you always start things and never finish, that's a pattern. If you avoid discomfort and always choose the easy way out, that's a pattern. If you tell yourself you're not ready every time you're about to take action, that's a pattern too. Once you see it clearly, you can challenge it. Patterns are built on repetition. They feel familiar, but they're not fixed. They're just reinforced every time you let them continue. So the next time that same thought shows up, the one that says not today or maybe later, stop and question it. Ask yourself, where does this belief come from? Who taught me to think this way? What has this way of thinking actually done for me? Then do the opposite. If the pattern is avoiding discomfort, then do something uncomfortable on purpose. If the pattern is overthinking, take one small action before your mind starts spinning. If the pattern is saying I'll do it tomorrow, choose to do it today, even if it's messy. Patterns break when you interrupt them with new action. Even the smallest shift is powerful, because it shows your brain that there is another way. You also have to take control of your environment. If you're always surrounded by distractions, you're going to stay stuck. If your room is cluttered, your schedule is chaotic, and your conversations are filled with negativity, those things are feeding the pattern. Clean up your space. Simplify your routines. Distance yourself from people who always pull you back into old ways. Create an environment that pushes you forward, not one that holds you still. Another way to break the cycle is to change the way you speak to yourself. Most people stay stuck because their self-talk keeps them trapped. I'm not ready. I always mess this up. What if I fail again? That inner voice creates hesitation. You need to change that voice. You need to replace those old lines with new ones. Say things like, I can figure this out. This doesn't have to be perfect. I can start small and still move forward. Speak to yourself with direction, not doubt. And understand this, progress doesn't come from giant leaps. It comes from small repeated actions that interrupt the old way of living. It's choosing to wake up 30 minutes earlier. It's reading 5 pages instead of scrolling. It's saying no to something you always said yes to. It's preparing your meals, planning your week, setting your goals. Things that sound small but begin to stack. Eventually, those actions form a new rhythm, and with it, a new pattern. The reason most people don't break free is because they expect immediate results. But progress takes time. You didn't get stuck in one day, and you won't get unstuck in one day either. But the moment you do something different, even something small, you've already started breaking the cycle. You also have to stop waiting for motivation. Motivation is unreliable. What you need is discipline. You need to commit to doing what needs to be done, especially when it's hard, because discipline builds momentum, and momentum is how you escape the cycle. You start doing the right things, not just when you feel inspired, but because you know they matter. Don't underestimate the power of structure. Stuck people often live without clear plans. They wing it every day, hoping things will somehow work out. You need structure. You need to know what you're aiming for. You need to map out your next steps. You need to be clear about your priorities. When you start your day without a plan, the pattern pulls you back in. But when you lead your day with purpose, you create distance from the old version of you. Also remember, no one else can break the pattern for you. You can get support. You can get advice. But at the end of the day, it's your habits, your choices, your thoughts that shape your life. The pattern may have been passed down to you. It may have started years ago, but it's yours now. And if it's yours, you can change it. Give yourself permission to evolve. You are not stuck forever. You are just in a system that needs to be redesigned. You are capable of change, but capability alone isn't enough. You need action, and not perfect action. Consistent action. Messy, imperfect, uncomfortable action that proves to yourself that you are moving forward. And when you fall back, because you will, don't give up. The pattern might try to pull you back in, But now you're aware. Now you have tools. Now you have experience. Stand back up, try again. Each time you do, the old pattern loses its strength. Each time you show up with intention, the new path gets clearer. The power is always in your hands. Not someday, not when the timing feels right, but right now. Today is the day you stop living on repeat. Today is the day you choose progress over paralysis. Today is the day you break the cycle that has kept you running in place. This is the moment you take your life back, not all at once, but one decision at a time. Number 4. Face the truth and refuse to ignore it. There comes a time when the most courageous thing you can do is stop running, not from others, from yourself, from the truth you've been avoiding for far too long. Because the longer you hide from what's real, the longer you live in a version of life that doesn't serve you. And if you want change, real change, it begins with facing the truth, not parts of it, not the convenient version, the full truth. It's not easy. It's not supposed to be. Truth exposes what we don't want to see. It holds up a mirror to the habits we've ignored, the choices we've justified, the pain we've buried. But that mirror isn't your enemy. It's your invitation to grow. Growth only begins where denial ends. And today is the day you stop lying to yourself. You know what you've been avoiding. Maybe it's your health. You say you're just tired. You say you'll start next week. But deep down you know you've let yourself go. You know the choices aren't helping. Or maybe it's your finances. You tell yourself things will get better. But the truth is, the spending, the lack of planning, the avoidance, it's creating more stress every day. Maybe it's your relationships. You pretend things are fine, but deep down you feel disconnected. You've stopped talking. You've stopped showing up. And pretending it's normal won't make it better. Whatever it is, the truth is, sitting there, quiet but constant. And you have a choice. You can continue covering it up with distractions, excuses, entertainment. Or you can sit with it, face it fully, and decide that you're no longer okay with hiding from it. Facing the truth doesn't make you weak. It makes you powerful, because it puts you back in control. When you stop pretending, you can finally begin fixing. When you stop avoiding, you can start building. Most people live their entire lives in a blur of denial. They sense something's wrong, but they never stop long enough to face it head on. That's not going to be you. You deserve a life of clarity, not confusion. And clarity comes when you get honest. Honest about what you want. Honest about what's missing. Honest about what you've allowed. No more sugarcoating. No more blaming. No more waiting for someone else to admit it for you. The truth is not your punishment. It's your path forward. Because once you face it, you can deal with it. You can design a solution. You can shift your direction. But none of that happens if you keep ignoring it. Every time you avoid the truth, you postpone your breakthrough. Start asking yourself real questions. Am I proud of how I'm showing up right now? Am I taking care of what matters most? Am I really doing my best? Or am I settling? These are not questions to make you feel shame. These are questions that give you a clear view of where you are, so you can start moving forward with purpose. Stop telling yourself stories that make you feel better in the short term, but hurt you in the long run. I don't have time. I'm just unlucky. It's not that bad. Those stories might protect your ego, but they're costing you your progress. Replace them with truth. Real, bold, unfiltered truth. Like I've been avoiding responsibility, or I've let fear control my choices, or I haven't been committed. These statements are hard, but they're honest. And that honesty frees you. It gives you power, because you can change anything you're willing to admit. You can improve anything you're willing to own. But nothing will change until you stop pretending it's fine when it's not. Pretending keeps you stuck. Truth sets you in motion. You may feel fear. That's okay. Everyone does when they step into truth. Fear of failure. Fear of what the truth might demand from you. But let me tell you, fear is smaller than it looks. Once you step through it, you realize it had no real power. It was just standing in the way of your next level. You don't have to face everything at once, but you have to face something today. One truth, One area of your life that you've been avoiding. Look at it with clear eyes. Sit with it. Feel what it brings up. And instead of running, ask yourself what needs to change. What do I need to stop doing? What do I need to start doing? The answers won't always be easy, but they will be worth it. You might need to cut ties with habits that once gave you comfort. You might need to step away from people who keep you in the past. You might need to have hard conversations you've been postponing. But every hard choice made in truth creates freedom. Don't wait for rock bottom to wake up. Don't wait for everything to fall apart before you get honest. You don't need a breakdown to start over. All you need is a moment of honesty and the courage to act on it. That's how you begin to rise. Start tracking your patterns. Notice when you avoid things. Pay attention to how you talk to yourself. Notice what you delay. These are your clues. These are the signs pointing to the truth you need to face. And when you see them, don't turn away. Don't minimize them. Use them. Build a routine around honesty. Review your week. Reflect on your actions. Ask yourself daily, did I do what I said I would do? Keep yourself accountable. Not with harsh judgment, but with clear intention. Let your life become a reflection of truth, not fantasy. You will gain self-respect. When you live in truth, you begin to trust yourself again. You stop second-guessing. You stop hiding. You walk with clarity. You speak with conviction, because your actions match your values. Your choices align with your vision, and that's when life begins to change. You don't need to be perfect. You don't need all the answers, but you need the truth. You need to stand in it. You need to stay in it, even when it's uncomfortable, especially when it's uncomfortable, because discomfort is the doorway to transformation. So today, make a decision. No more lies. No more delays. No more pretending everything's okay when you know it's not. Face the truth. Let it wake you up. Let it guide your next move. Let it shape the person you're becoming. Because on the other side of truth is clarity. On the other side of truth is strength. And on the other side of truth is the life you were always meant to build. One honest step at a time. Number 5. Choose discipline over regret and comfort today. Most people think comfort is the reward. They believe that if they can just stay comfortable, avoid stress, and keep things easy, they'll be happy. But the truth is, comfort without discipline is one of the fastest paths to regret. It feels good in the moment, but it leaves you empty later. What you trade for comfort today, you pay for in disappointment tomorrow. The question you have to ask yourself is simple. Do I want temporary ease or lasting pride? You cannot have both. Every day, life gives you a choice. You can choose the pain of discipline or the pain of regret. One builds you, the other breaks you. One makes you stronger. The other leaves you wondering what could have been. Discipline is not punishment. It's training. It's commitment. It's making a decision and sticking to it. Even when the mood disappears, it's showing up for your future self. Not once, not when it's convenient, but consistently. Even when no one is watching. We live in a world that promotes comfort at every turn. Fast food, endless entertainment, instant pleasure. But none of these things help you become who you're meant to be. They offer relief, but not results. They give you comfort, but not character. What shapes you is what challenges you. And discipline is the challenge you must accept if you want to grow. Discipline looks like choosing a workout when you'd rather sleep in. It looks like turning off distractions and finishing what you started. It looks like saying no to things that don't align with your goals. It looks like making a plan and sticking to it. And most of all, it looks like doing what you said you would do, even when the feeling is gone. Why does this matter? Because one day you'll look back, and the question won't be whether you had fun or stayed comfortable. It'll be whether you became the person you were supposed to become. It'll be whether you took the hard road when it counted, whether you chose growth when it hurt, whether you stayed true to what mattered or gave it up for a little short-term ease. Regret is a heavy weight. It doesn't show up right away. It creeps in slowly. You feel it when the opportunities are gone. You feel it when the time has passed. You feel it when you know deep down you could have done more. And that's the worst feeling, to know it wasn't life that stopped you. It was you. Discipline, on the other hand, is difficult in the beginning, but it pays off later. The pain of saying no, the discomfort of hard work, the effort of staying focused, it all leads somewhere. You start building confidence. You begin trusting yourself. You become proud of who you're becoming. That's a kind of happiness comfort will never give you. If you want to live a life you can be proud of, you have to make decisions based on your values, not your moods. Your mood will change. Your desire for comfort will come and go. But your values, the things that truly matter to you, must lead the way. Discipline is saying, I'm tired, but I'll still show up. It's saying, I don't feel like it, but this matters too much. It's saying, this isn't easy, but it's worth it. You don't have to be extreme. You don't need to be perfect. You just need to be consistent. Start with small steps. Get up when your alarm goes off. Finish what you begin. Stop making excuses. The more you keep your word to yourself, the more disciplined you become. And the more disciplined you become, the more powerful your life becomes. Comfort convinces you that there's always more time. But time doesn't wait for motivation. It rewards action. It rewards the person who shows up every day. Especially when it's hard. That's how you earn progress. That's how you earn peace. That's how you build a future without regret. You have dreams. You have goals. You have things you want to become. But none of that happens without discipline. Your goals don't care how you feel. They only respond to what you do. And discipline is the bridge between who you are and who you're meant to be. Understand this. The comfort you feel today can cost you opportunities tomorrow. The workout you skip. The book you don't read. The time you waste. It all adds up. And so does discipline. The decision to stay focused. The effort to grow. The courage to keep going. Those choices shape your story. There will be days when you want to quit. When comfort calls louder than your purpose. And in those moments, you must remind yourself why you started. Remind yourself that you are building something bigger than a feeling. You are building a life, a legacy, a mindset. You are proving to yourself that you don't need to be pushed. You lead yourself. Nobody is born disciplined. It's something you build, day by day, choice by choice. And the more you build it, the less you rely on motivation. Because now it's who you are. You're the kind of person who shows up. You're the kind of person who keeps promises. You're the kind of person who does hard things. Not because it's easy, but because it's right. Think about where your life could be 1 year from now. If you chose discipline every day starting today. Think about what your body could look like. What your mind could feel like. What your income could grow to. What your relationships could become. Think about the peace you'd feel knowing you gave it your all. That is the reward for those who choose discipline. But if you keep choosing comfort, what will change? What will grow? What will improve? Nothing. Because comfort is where progress goes to die. You cannot grow and stay comfortable at the same time. One has to go. And only one of them leads you where you want to go. You are not weak. You are not stuck. You are not lazy. You are capable. You are powerful. But you must make the choice. Today, not someday. Not when you feel like it. Right now. Choose discipline. Choose the harder path. Choose the action that your future self will thank you for. Because there's nothing more fulfilling than looking in the mirror and knowing you showed up for your life. Knowing you didn't let yourself down. Knowing you didn't take the easy way out. That's what makes you proud. That's what gives you strength. And that's what separates the few who rise from the many who regret. So today, make that decision. No more excuses. No more waiting. No more doing what's easy just because it feels good. Choose discipline. Again and again. Until it becomes who you are. And watch your life rise to meet the level of your effort. Number 6. Burn the excuses and take your first real step. Every breakthrough begins the same way, with a decision to stop running in circles and finally move forward. Not tomorrow. Not next week. Right now. And the very first step is this. Burn the excuses. Every single one of them. Not one excuse has ever taken someone to a life they're proud of. Not one has ever helped someone reach their full potential. Excuses are nothing more than delays dressed up as reasons. You know what they sound like. I'm too busy. It's not the right time. I don't know how. I'm too tired. These thoughts feel real, but they're walls we build to stay in the same place. They protect us from effort, not from pain. In fact, they create more pain over time because while you're feeding your excuses, your goals sit still. Your progress freezes. Your self-worth quietly erodes. Here's what most people won't tell you. You don't need more motivation. You don't need perfect conditions. You don't need anyone else's approval. You just need to take that first real step. The one that says, I'm done making reasons not to. The one that says, I won't keep living like this. The one that says, even if I don't have it all figured out, I'll begin. The problem with excuses is they sound logical when you're used to them. You've repeated them so many times, they've become a belief system. But just because something feels familiar doesn't make it true. You are not your story. You are not the past. You are not your current circumstances. You are the person who decides what happens next, and the next move starts with letting go of the reasons you keep holding on to. Take a moment and ask yourself honestly, what excuse have I been telling myself that's keeping me from starting? Identify it. Name it. Call it out. Because once you shine a light on it, it starts to lose its grip. You can't fix what you won't face. And once you've faced it, it's time to do something radical. Destroy it. Refuse to entertain it. Replace it with action. Replace I don't have time with. I'll start with 10 minutes today. Replace I'm not ready with I'll learn as I go. Replace I've failed before with this time I'm not quitting. Those shifts, as small as they seem, create momentum, and momentum is how transformation begins. The first step doesn't need to be big, but it needs to be real. Not another plan, not more thinking, not waiting for the perfect day. It's the email you've been putting off, the workout you've been skipping, the budget you've been ignoring, the call you've been avoiding, the truth you've been running from. That's the step that moves the needle. That's the step that builds belief. And when you take that step, something inside of you shifts. You stop seeing yourself as someone who's stuck and start seeing yourself as someone in motion, even if it's slow, even if it's shaky, because progress, not perfection, is the goal. You will never feel fully ready. You will never have every answer. But what you do have is this moment, and the willingness to stop hiding behind the same story you've told yourself for years. Your life will not change with more waiting. It will change with bold, imperfect action. The kind of action that feels uncomfortable. The kind that scares you a little. That's how you know it's real. Don't wait for the fear to disappear. Move with it. Most of the fear you feel isn't about the step itself. It's about what it represents. It represents responsibility. It represents effort. It represents the possibility of failure. But do you know what's even more painful than failing? Regret. Waking up 5 years from now and realizing you're in the same place because you never took the first step. You are not meant to stay where you are. You are meant to rise. But you don't rise with more excuses. You rise with decision. You rise when you choose to take responsibility for your future. You rise when you stop pointing fingers. When you stop waiting for rescue. When you stop expecting life to hand you success just because you want it. Success doesn't come from intention alone. It comes from movement, from courage, from the choice to act when most people freeze, from saying I don't have all the answers but I'm starting anyway. That's how you separate yourself. That's how you create a new chapter. Burning your excuses means rewriting the way you speak to yourself. It means refusing to let your thoughts sabotage your direction. It means catching yourself when you say I can't, and replacing it with I will figure it out. It means showing up every day, not with perfection but with purpose. You'll hear the voice in your head trying to talk you out of it. That's normal. It's just the part of you that wants to stay safe. That voice will say, what if you fail? Remind it, what if I succeed? It'll say you've tried before. Remind it, but I've never tried like this. I've never tried with this level of honesty, this level of commitment, this refusal to turn back. Your future will be shaped by what you do now, not what you say you'll do, not what you hope will happen, what you do. You don't need a perfect roadmap. You just need to start walking. And the moment you do, clarity begins to come. Energy starts to return. Confidence begins to build. But none of it comes if you don't take that first step. You have to earn momentum. You have to create it by acting in spite of resistance. It won't be easy. but it will be worth it. Because you will look back and say that was the day everything changed. Not because life got easier, but because you got stronger. So burn the excuses. Not one of them is worth the life they're keeping you from. Refuse to give them power for one more minute. Decide that today is your starting point, not tomorrow. Today, choose to believe that your next level is waiting on the other side of this decision. You don't need anyone else's permission. You don't need to wait for the calendar to flip. You are enough right now to begin. You have enough strength to face what's next. You have what it takes to begin building a life you'll be proud to live. But you must start, and you must start now. So make the call, do the work, start the process. Commit to the first step, not for someone else, not for applause, but for you. Because the version of you that's been waiting, it's time to meet the version of you that finally decided to move. Number 7. Own your story and write a better chapter. Now, you don't get to choose where your story began. None of us do. Maybe you came from difficulty. Maybe you made mistakes. Maybe things didn't turn out the way you hoped. But you do get to decide how it continues. That power belongs to you right now. The moment you choose to stop blaming and start building, everything begins to change. Too many people spend their lives denying their story. They hide the parts that feel messy. They pretend it didn't happen. They run from the pain, but you can't outrun what you refuse to face. And you can't rewrite a story you won't own until you take full responsibility for your life. Nothing will truly shift. This isn't about shame. This isn't about guilt. This is about honesty. It's about standing in front of your own truth without looking away. No excuses, no editing, just clarity. Because the moment you can say, this is where I've been, but it's not where I'm staying, you take your power back. People carry pain for years because they've never been taught how to face it. They carry disappointment like it's a life sentence, but it's not. It's a lesson. And the moment you learn from it, instead of being trapped by it, you start moving forward. You're not weak for having a hard past. You're strong for choosing to grow from it. There's something powerful about ownership, not the kind that makes you feel small, but the kind that makes you feel strong. When you say, this is my life, I take full responsibility for it. You stop waiting for someone to save you. You stop hoping the past will fix itself. You stop letting your circumstances write your script. Now, writing a better chapter doesn't mean forgetting what happened. It means using it. It means turning pain into wisdom. It means taking the broken parts and building something stronger. Because you get to decide how the next part of your life unfolds. What's stopping you from doing that? Often, it's not other people. It's not your job. It's not even your past. It's the story you keep repeating to yourself. The story that says, this is who I am, and I can't change. That story is a lie. You can change. But it starts with believing that you are not the story. You are the author. You hold the pen. And starting now, you can choose a different direction. Maybe you've been told you're not good enough. Maybe you've been made to feel small. Maybe life gave you every reason to quit. And maybe you've been carrying that for far too long. But here's the truth. Those moments are not your whole story. They're just a few pages. You have more chapters to write. And those pages can be filled with growth, strength, courage, and change. Writing a better chapter starts with asking yourself, what do I really want this next season of my life to be about? Not what others expect. Not what the world says. What you want? Who do you want to become? What do you want to build? What kind of peace do you want to wake up with? Most people drift through life on autopilot. They replay yesterday because it's familiar. But the only way to change your life is to change your direction. That means intention. That means clarity. That means saying this chapter will look different because I'm making different decisions. You don't need to wait for January. You don't need a new week. The reset button is available every single day. It's available right now. But you must be willing to let go of the version of yourself that only knows survival. You must step into the version of yourself that is ready to create. Creation means effort. It means planning. It means being deliberate with your time and your choices. It means cutting out distractions. It means saying no to what doesn't serve you. It means being honest about what's keeping you stuck. And yes, it means starting even when you feel uncertain. No one has it all figured out when they begin. But you learn by doing. You grow by choosing. And with each step forward, you build confidence. Not because life gets easier, but because you get better. What do you want your life to say about you when it's all said and done? That you survived, or that you grew, that you stayed in the same patterns, or that you had the courage to break them? You get to decide that answer, and the way you decide it is with your actions. Don't wait for someone else to tell you it's okay to move on. You don't need permission. You don't need the past to apologize. You don't need the world to understand. You just need to be willing to say that chapter is done. And this is the one I'm writing now. And what does that look like? It looks like waking up earlier so you can think clearly. It looks like reading books that challenge your thinking. It looks like forgiving people, not because they deserve it, but because you deserve peace. It looks like setting goals and following through. It looks like tracking your progress. And most of all, it looks like choosing growth over comfort. There will be days where the old story tries to pull you back. That's normal. But you are not who you used to be. Every day you show up with intention, you become a little more free. Free from old habits. Free from self-doubt. Free from living in the rearview mirror. You're not here to stay stuck. You're here to lead yourself. You're here to create meaning. You're here to live with depth and purpose and self-respect. But that doesn't happen by accident. It happens through ownership, through action, through telling yourself the truth, even when it's hard. You can't skip the work. You can't bypass the hard parts, but you can make them worth it, because everything you face now makes the next chapter stronger. It makes you wiser. It makes your story worth reading. Not because it was perfect, but because it was real. So take the pen back. Stop waiting for things to change. Stop hoping for a better past, and start creating a better present. You're not too late. You're not behind. You're right on time for the life that still belongs to you. From this moment forward, choose to write something new. Not something perfect, not something easy, but something meaningful. Let this be the chapter where you started showing up, where you stopped hiding, where you gave everything you had to becoming everything you were meant to be. Number 8. Get serious about what truly matters to you. There comes a time in life when you have to stop dancing around the edges of your potential and get serious. Serious about what truly matters to you. Not what impresses others. Not what looks good on paper. Not what makes people clap. What matters to you. The things that light a fire in your chest. The values you care about. Deep down. The life you want to live with. No apologies. No pretending. No distractions. Most people drift because they've never stopped long enough to ask the hard question. What do I really care about? They chase approval. They chase comfort. They chase what the world calls success. But all the while their heart is somewhere else. And the longer you avoid what matters, the emptier the victories feel. There's nothing wrong with working hard. There's nothing wrong with achievement. But if you're pouring your energy into things that don't mean anything to you, what's the point? That's not living. That's performing. And one day you'll wake up and realize you've built a life that doesn't even feel like yours. Getting serious about what matters means stopping the noise. It means tuning out the opinions and tuning into your own voice. It means sitting in silence and asking yourself, what do I want my days to stand for? Not someday, today. Because the truth is, time isn't waiting for you to figure it out. Every day you drift is a day you don't get back. You already know what matters. You've felt it. It shows up in the quiet moments when you're alone, when you're honest, when you stop pretending everything is fine. It's the thing that makes you feel alive. It's the goal that keeps coming back. No matter how many times you push it away, it's the work that feels meaningful, the relationships that feel real, the values that keep calling your name. But you'll never build a life around those things unless you make a decision, a real one. The kind that says, I will not waste another year chasing the wrong things. The kind that says, my energy is precious, my time is limited, I will not spend it on distractions. That's when you start living on purpose. That's when you stop living small. So what do you need to get serious about? Is it your health, your family, your vision, your peace, your growth, your purpose? You know the answer. And deep down, you've known it for a long time. You just haven't given it the respect it deserves. Because getting serious requires commitment. It requires trade-offs. You can't chase everything. You can't be everywhere. You have to decide what gets your focus and what doesn't. That's how you protect your future from being buried under busyness. Start with clarity. Write it down. What are the 5 things that matter most to you right now? Not 10 years ago. Not in theory. Right now. If it's not on the list, it doesn't get your attention. And if it's on the list, it gets your full effort. That's how you make progress. That's how you build a life with intention, instead of regret. Now once you're clear, you've got to start living like it. Because knowing what matters means nothing if your actions say otherwise. If health matters to you, take care of your body. If growth matters, challenge yourself daily. If peace matters, protect your mind and your time. If relationships matter, stop being too busy to connect. If purpose matters, stop playing it safe. People say they don't have time, but the truth is, they haven't prioritized. You make time for what you take seriously. You cut out the excess when something truly matters. You stop negotiating with laziness. You stop entertaining excuses. And you start showing up differently. You don't need to be perfect. You just need to be honest. Honest about the gap between what you say matters and how you're actually living. And once you see the gap, you fix it. Not someday. Now, because the more you delay, the more you drift. There's nothing more exhausting than trying to live a life that doesn't align with your values. It wears you down. It drains your energy. But once you start living on purpose, everything changes. Your days feel fuller. Your work feels more meaningful. Your relationships become richer. And your confidence grows. Because now you're living in alignment, not confusion. But don't expect it to be easy. The world will tempt you with quick wins. You'll feel pressure to conform. You'll have days where you doubt yourself. That's part of the journey. But you don't back down. You hold the line. You remind yourself why it matters. You reconnect to the vision. And that's where discipline comes in. Not the kind that feels forced. The kind that feels focused. Discipline is doing what matters, even when it's hard. Discipline is choosing long-term meaning over short-term comfort. Discipline is what turns your values into reality. You won't always be motivated. That's normal. But you can always be intentional. You can always go back to your list and ask, am I living in alignment today? That one question, if asked daily, can change your life. And here's what happens when you live this way. You stop settling. You stop tolerating half effort. You stop saying yes when you mean no. You stop spending time with people who drain you. You stop giving your energy to what doesn't serve you. Instead, you rise. You rise because you've found your reasons. You rise because you've anchored your life in what counts. You rise because you've stopped wasting your potential. And that rise is felt in everything you do. In the way you speak, the way you walk, the way you show up for yourself and others. So take this seriously. Not with stress, with sincerity. This is your one life. You don't get a second draft. Make it count. Not just with big goals, but with small choices. Every time you choose what matters over what distracts, you rewrite your story. This is not about being perfect. It's about being committed. Committed to showing up for what matters most. Committed to building a life you're proud of. Committed to being someone who doesn't just dream, but decides. So if you've been waiting for a sign to get serious, this is it. No more delays. No more half-living. The future is shaped by what you focus on today. And if you choose well, if you choose what truly matters, you will look back and say, that was the moment everything changed. Not because life got easier, but because you got clear. Number 9. Start becoming the person you promised to be. There comes a moment in life when you have to stop living for the expectations of others, for the standards set by society, and for the comfort of staying the same. You have to start living for yourself and the person you promised to become. It's easy to say, I'll change someday. or I'll be that person when the time is right. But the truth is, the time to start becoming who you promised to be is now. The person you've always imagined yourself becoming isn't some distant dream. It's an action away. The power to step into that person is in your hands. Right here, right now. Think about it for a second. You've probably promised yourself that you would be more disciplined, that you would work harder, that you would pursue your passions without hesitation, that you would show up for the people you love, that you would build the life you've always wanted. But when was the last time you took real action toward becoming that person? Too often, we get caught in the cycle of procrastination, thinking there will be a better moment to start, but there is no better time than today. And here's the truth. You will never become who you promised to be by waiting for the perfect circumstances. The person you promised to be is not some abstract ideal. It's a version of you that's waiting to emerge. Every decision you make, every step you take, either brings you closer to or further away from that person. And it's in your hands to make that choice. Right now, you are shaping who you will be in the future. Your actions today define who you'll become tomorrow. So ask yourself, who is the person I promised to be? What values did I say I would live by? What habits did I say I would adopt? What goals did I say I would achieve? Now it's time to stop talking about it and start being it. But here's the catch. You can't become that person by simply wishing for it. You have to act. You have to do the work. You have to face your fears. You have to get uncomfortable. If you promised yourself that you would get healthier, you can't keep waiting for motivation to strike. You need to start eating better, exercising more, and taking care of your body. If you promised yourself that you would pursue your dreams, you can't keep making excuses about time or resources. You need to take action today. Start learning, start networking, start planning. It's not about waiting for the right moment. It's about making this moment the right one by stepping into the person you've promised to become. The journey won't always be easy. In fact, it will be challenging. It will test your commitment, your willpower, and your resilience. But the person you promised to be isn't afraid of challenges. They know that true growth happens outside of their comfort zone. So when the obstacles come, you don't shrink back. You rise up. You push through. You remind yourself that the discomfort is part of the process, not a reason to quit. And don't let the fear of failure stop you. The person you promised to be is not afraid of failing. They know that failure is simply a stepping stone to success. Every setback is an opportunity to learn, grow, and improve. The road to becoming who you promised to be is not a straight line. It's full of twists and turns, highs and lows. But with each step you take, you get closer to the person you are meant to be. And the only way to fail is to stop trying. You may face moments of doubt along the way. You may question whether you're good enough or capable enough to achieve your dreams. But let me tell you something. You are more than enough. You have everything you need to become the person you promised to be. You have the strength, the determination, and the resources within you to make it happen. But it requires belief. Belief in yourself. Belief in your potential. Belief that you are worthy of success and happiness. When you start to believe in yourself, that's when you'll start making decisions that align with who you are becoming. You also have to stop allowing the opinions of others to define who you are. The person you promised to be is not shaped by the judgments of those around you. The only person who has the right to define your life is you. The world will always have opinions about who you should be, what you should do, and how you should live. But you don't owe them anything. You owe it to yourself to follow your own path. Be unapologetically you. The people who truly care about you will support you in becoming the best version of yourself, not the version they expect. One of the hardest things is making the commitment to change and sticking with it. It's easy to start, but the true test comes in the follow-through. And that's where consistency becomes crucial. Every day you have a choice. Will you take one step closer to the person you promised to be, or will you stay where you are? The key to lasting change is consistency, doing the small things, day in and day out, that align with your goals and your vision. It's in those small, consistent actions that you will build the person you've promised to be. Remember, this is a process. You don't have to have everything figured out. You don't have to be perfect, but you do have to be intentional. Every day is an opportunity to make progress. Every choice you make is either bringing you closer to or further from the person you're becoming. So start today. right now. Don't wait for tomorrow. The person you promised to be is ready to emerge, and they're waiting for you to step up and become them. Ask yourself right now, what have I promised myself that I haven't yet delivered on? What goals have I put off? What habits have I failed to implement? What actions have I avoided because I was afraid or uncertain? Whatever it is, it's time to start. It's time to stop waiting for conditions to be perfect. It's time to stop waiting for someone to push you. It's time to step into your power and become the person you promised to be. You have everything you need within you to make it happen. The only thing standing between you and the life you desire is the decision to act. So, take that first step. Make the commitment. Do the work. Keep going, even when it gets tough, and never stop becoming the person you promised to be. Number 10. Stop waiting and make today your turning point. How many times have you told yourself, I'll start tomorrow? How many days have you let slip by, thinking you'd get to it eventually, thinking the right time would come? Well, today is the right time. Today is the turning point, the day that changes everything. If you keep waiting for the perfect moment, you'll spend your life waiting, and I promise you, waiting will never get you anywhere. There's an old saying that someday is a dangerous word. Someday never comes. It's an illusion. The only moment that truly exists is right now. If you want to change your life, if you want to make your dreams a reality, then today is the day to make it happen. Not tomorrow, not next week, not when conditions are better. Today, the truth is, you have everything you need right now to start. You don't need more time. You don't need more resources. You don't need a perfect plan. All you need is the decision to stop waiting and start doing. Every day that you delay is another day you are giving away your power. Stop giving your time to the idea of tomorrow and start using the time you have today. Here's the hard reality. If you don't make today your turning point, you'll continue to drift. You'll continue to wake up with the same regrets, the same frustration, the same what-ifs. The reason you're still stuck is that you're waiting for a miracle, for some external force to push you into action. But miracles don't happen unless you create them. You are the one who has the power to make today your turning point. You are the one who has the power to decide that enough is enough, and that today will be the day things change. You might think, but I've tried before and failed. So what? Failing doesn't define you. Staying down after you fail does. There is no failure unless you stop trying. Each mistake, each misstep, each setback is just part of the process. Every successful person, every person who has changed their life, has experienced failure. But the difference is, they didn't quit. They didn't wait for the perfect moment to start again. They got up and kept going. If they can do it, so can you. You might also feel overwhelmed by all the things you need to do. I understand, the mountain seems too high, the task too big. But that's the key. You don't have to climb the entire mountain today. You just need to take one step. The most important step is the first one. And it doesn't matter how small it is. What matters is that you take it. Once you take the first step, the next one gets easier. But you'll never reach the top if you don't start. Here's another thing to consider. The longer you wait, the harder it becomes. The more time you spend waiting for the right moment, the more you're training your mind to delay. You're reinforcing a habit of procrastination. And the longer you delay, the further away your goals seem. But when you make today your turning point, you break that habit. You replace procrastination with action. You replace doubt with confidence. You replace waiting with doing. You may think that the world is too complicated, or that you don't have the skills or knowledge to succeed. But let me tell you this. Everyone starts somewhere. No one is born with all the answers. Everyone starts with questions, with uncertainty, with fear. What separates those who succeed from those who don't is the willingness to push through that fear and start anyway. You don't need to have it all figured out right now. You just need to make the decision to act, to stop waiting, and to start moving forward. The world is full of distractions, full of reasons to put things off. The media, your social circles, the noise from all directions. These things can convince you that today is not the right day. But what if it is? What if today is the day that changes everything? The world will keep moving, whether you decide to act or not. It's time for you to stop sitting on the sidelines and get in the game. You don't have to wait until you feel ready or until you have everything in place. You don't need perfect conditions. What you need is the courage to start, the commitment to keep going, and the belief that you can create your own success. The path will unfold as you walk it. And yes, it might be messy. Yes, it might be uncomfortable. But if you keep moving forward, you'll start to see results. Start small if you must. Start with what you can control. If you want to get healthier, don't wait until you have the perfect workout routine or meal plan. Start with one healthy choice today. If you want to improve your career, don't wait until the perfect job comes along. Start by networking, by learning something new, by taking small steps every day toward your goal. If you want to build better relationships, don't wait for the perfect time to reach out. Start by sending a message, making a call, or just showing up. The beauty of starting today is that you create momentum. Once you make that decision, once you start taking action, you begin to build a snowball effect. Every small step adds up, and soon you'll be moving faster than you ever thought possible. You'll look back at today and realize that it wasn't just another ordinary day. It was the day you took control of your life. It was the day you decided to stop waiting for something to change and made it happen yourself. I know it's easy to get caught up in the idea that everything has to be perfect before you can start. But the truth is, nothing will ever be perfect. You'll always face challenges, doubts, and setbacks. But what matters is that you don't let those things stop you. You don't let them keep you stuck in the waiting room of your life. Today is your chance to take control and make the change. The first step is the hardest, but it's also the most important. So stop waiting. Stop letting the days slip by. Make today your turning point. Don't wait for the perfect moment. Create it. Don't wait for the right conditions. Make them. The power to change your life is in your hands right now. All it takes is the decision to stop waiting and start doing. The rest will follow. Today is the day that changes everything. Don't let it pass by. Take that step. Make today the turning point you've been waiting for. You'll be amazed at what you can achieve when you stop waiting and start taking action. The future is yours to create, but it all begins with what you do today.